Hi, and welcome to TXDZNY. Today we're going to be talking to James. He has a channel called Turbo DP, and this is one of my good buddies from high school who I met when I first moved down to Texas. It's his son, and so he really wanted to do a little collaboration video. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. So James's dad, who I'm buddies with, is from California. So they had some family who lives out in California. So he's been to Disneyland. He hasn't been at Disney World yet. So he wants to do a video where we're going to be talking about some of his favorite rides at Disneyland in California. All right, James. So what's your 10th favorite ride at Disneyland?
I think that the Buzz Astro Blasters is fun. I think it's like a cool little interactive experience. And every time I ride it, I might ride it like 2 times a trip. I always try to beat my score ahead. And I'm a huge sport guy, so I always try to beat my score. I thought that was really fun.
Awesome. And they have that same, like, very similar ride at Disney World and Magic Kingdom also. So it's pretty much a ride that we go on also. That's
Yeah.
cool. All right. So then what's your ninth favorite ride?
This one, the name probably doesn't sound familiar when you hear it, but it's called Autopia.
Yeah.
It's like a not like Radiator Springs cars, but like racing like F1 cars or
Yep.
something. I rode it with my dad. It was really fun. We loved it. And I like speed, but not like loops and stuff like that. But I love speed, so I thought that one was a really cool experience for me.
Awesome. Awesome. So also to piggyback off of that is that he's been to Disneyland. He hasn't been to California Adventure yet. So maybe we do like we maybe get together and we'll do like both of our families going on a trip there and we go to California Adventure together or
That would
something
be cool.
soon.
That would
Yeah.
be cool.
And then they have uh, Radiator Springs Racers there, which you love, which
I
they
feel
go
like I
real
would love
fast.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I would like that.
Awesome. All right, James. So what's your eighth favorite?
I absolutely love Halloween. I go all out. And one of my favorite Halloween movies is The Nightmare Before Christmas. So the first time I went, it was in October. So they had like the big Mickey Mouse pumpkin setup, and they changed the Haunted Mansion to The Nightmare Before Christmas every Halloween.
Yep.
So I did ride the original, but I definitely think The Nightmare Before Christmas is better. Um, and the big highlight of that one for me was the Oogie Boogie. He was my favorite character. I
Yeah.
loved Oogie Boogie. So that one was just really special. And at the very end of the ride, Oogie's at the very end of the ride. So we're getting towards the end. I'm like, where's Oogie? Like my favorite character. And then he's just right there
There you
staring back
go.
at me. I'm like, yes.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, that is. They don't do this at Disney World's Haunted Mansion, which they need to. But if you ever get a chance to go to Disneyland and go on Haunted Mansion, make sure you do it during the Halloween season because it's takes that whole ride to like the next level. All right, James. So what's your seventh favorite now?
Splash Mountain. The reason it's ranked at 7 is the drop. I'm not a heights guy, but this one's probably my favorite like tall ride. Um, so this one was really cool because like all the animals, I love animals and all that stuff. So I got to see all the animals. Um, and then when you're going up, the vultures are there. They're like, "Good luck."
Yeah.
And the people behind us, it's like the one person log ride.
Yeah.
The person behind me, they um they asked me and my mom in front of me, "You guys ready?" And I just said nope right before the drop. Also, the vines at the bottom
Yeah.
with like the spikes, that really freaked me out. I don't like sharp objects. So,
Thought you were gonna go right into them, huh? Yeah, it has a couple smaller drops too to kind of like build it up for you, right?
yeah.
So also, just to go back on a little bit, Splash Mountain is one of my favorite rides too. But obviously now, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is what it's changing to. So the track of the ride is the exact same. It's just rethemed. So it's not Splash Mountain anymore. But as far as what the ride and the whole entire what it looks like is almost identical to Splash Mountain, just totally rethemed. All right. So what's number 6 on your list?
I am a huge fan of roller coasters. Um, I've gone to Universal Studios before, love that. Um, So I love roller coasters. I always go to the Grapevine thing. I'm always looking for like the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Always the carnivals. So Big Thunder Mountain Railroad just hit different.
Yeah.
I loved it, the whole thing. And before we got on the ride, actually, when we were walking to our like railroad train,
Mm-hmm.
my dad goes, when you get to the top of the hill, look for the goat.
Yeah.
And there was a goat up there. He was chewing on the dynamite. My dad was like, make sure to just stare at him for however long you can.
Yeah.
And the 3 times we rid that ride that day, I did that thing over and over again. The goat at the top really made this special.
Yeah, it makes it appear like you're going a little bit faster is what it's supposed to do. Now to go on how that goes back to Disney World, obviously has a Big Thunder Mountain also, but this is one of those rides that a lot of the rides are the same that are or both at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Some of them can be a little bit different, and this is one of them. Disneyland's Big Thunder Mountain is, in my opinion, quite a bit better than the one at Magic Kingdom. So it's while it's comparable because it looks the same as uh, themed and everything the same, the roller coaster track is better at Disneyland.
Okay, so we're going to take a break from the list because there's a crazy fact about Disneyland. This is the first time we ever went. Mom let us pick one thing from the gift shop, and like I said, I love The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I got a little Jack Skellington plushie with him in his Santa suit. And before that, well, actually, my dad took us to the gift shop while my mom went to the Lost and Found for her phone. We were riding the Jungle Cruise. She was taking pictures, and then when the ride came to a stop, she didn't halt and like fly, and the phone went flying. We just stopped, and we got off. And you know how on escalators there's like that fuzzy stuff on the side?
Yep.
They had that between the boat and the stairs, and her fanny pack was open, and her phone slipped out, went through that fuzzy thing, and dropped into the water.
Oh.
So at the end, we have a picture of it. Dad took a picture of it. It's so funny. With Henry in the stroller, and I'm next to Mom holding my Jack Skellington. And we're at the Lost and Found asking this lady to get divers to dive down to the ride. And then Dad comes after taking the picture and goes, if you get a diver, ride's probably like 5 feet, they'll find it under there.
Yeah.
Just right where the boat stops. So that was kind of funny. And then that Christmas, so like 2 months later, they actually shipped the phone back.
Oh, they wound up finding it.
Yeah, so they found it, shipped it back to us. And my dad gave it to her for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
He put a bunch of Bing bags in there to make it seem something heavy.
Yeah.
And she opened it up. She's like,
that's
got
awesome.
me my phone.
Did it still work?
It works.
Wow.
That's now the phone that I film my shorts on. So whenever my mom has to do something on her phone, I just grab that one and record with it.
That's awesome. That's amazing that it still works.
I know.
That's crazy. All right, what's number 5 on your list?
This ride, ever since I was 3, actually from my like 3 to 5 age, I couldn't stop it with Pirates. Pirates were my number one. My entire toy room was filled with pirate stuff. I had like 3 different pirate costumes. I went as a different one for every year for Halloween. And so when I went on the Pirates of the Caribbean, it all just came back to me. And that felt really special. Also, every time we ride this ride, which we always do when we go, there's always that guy sitting on the bridge.
Yep.
And we always duck away from his feet dangling.
Yeah.
So it's like a fun little game we play, like who can dodge it the most unique.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one just brought back a lot of memories, and that's why it's up here. It's
awesome.
Really special
Awesome.
To me.
And Carson, he loves Pirates of the Caribbean. He loved it from when he was like 2. He really, really loved Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's one of his favorite rides, which is cool. I think it is a ride that little kids, especially boys, do really like because it only has a little smaller drop, and it's not scary, and it's a cool little franchise for the kids. All right, James. So what's 4 on your list?
Um, I actually just saw the newest movie of this. It's now one of my favorite movies and my brother's favorite movie. Actually, we just saw another one, so I don't know if it is his favorite anymore. Um, but this one, I actually haven't seen the real movie that this is from, but I have seen a movie in the franchise, 2 of the movies in the franchise. Um, this one is like real adventurous, real shaky. Like I said, I like those roller coasters.
Yep.
Um, so Indiana Jones just really stood out to me. And then at the very end, when he likes to drop down on the rope, and he's like, "That wasn't too bad, was it?" I couldn't hold it in. That part was just funny to me.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge humor guy, so um, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very entertaining ride. Um, so Indiana Jones actually is supposed to be in the talks to replacing a ride at Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom at Disney World, because the tracks are so similar to the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. It'd be kind of an easy transformation to do this. So when they're going to retheme that whole Dino Land area in the future at Animal Kingdom, the dinosaur ride is supposed to change over to an Indiana Jones theme, but there's nothing confirmed on that yet. But that's the rumor that's going to happen. All right, so what's number 3 on your list, James?
Number 3 is really cool. I have actually only seen half of an episode of this series, but the rides are really cool for me. Um, some of them just didn't really stand out. Some of the other ones in this franchise from the rides didn't really stand out as much as this one did. Um, fun fact about this ride, we actually had to get on it 3 times for it to work.
Oh, yeah, it breaks down a lot. Yes.
It's Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Yep.
It's like really interactive. So like you get captured by the dark side. Um, and then you get locked in there and Chewbacca cuts open the thing for you and then like the real ride starts. I thought that was really cool. And we did actually have to board it 3 times. The first one we were like, this is a brand new ride, nobody's ever ridden it. Let's try it. We get on in about 30 seconds into the ride when we enter that room with the stormtroopers, the ride shuts down.
Oh.
So we have to exit through another exit. Then we got a little further the second time where Chewie opens it. And when we sat down, they wouldn't move. So we had to exit that. And then this was the very last ride we rid. My dad was like, we're going to give it one more shot. And it was just so good.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Yeah. Right. So the Rise of the Resistance ride at both Disneyland and at Hollywood Studios are identical. So it's the same experience, and it's that trackless technology of the cart that you're in. But Rise of the Resistance does have it's a little bit more entertaining than like a Ratatouille or Mickey's Runaway Railway, where it does have some thrill into it, and obviously a Star Wars theme. It keeps you a little bit more on edge. So it's a really good ride for kids that have, that's not too scary for them, but it also is really entertaining and has a great storyline to it. All right, so what's number 2 on your list?
This one was actually never meant to be on my list. Not the first time I read it. I'll just go ahead and say it this time. Space Mountain. First time I read it, I absolutely freaked out. I just couldn't ride it. And Henry was like, that's the best ride ever. I'm like, you're 3 years younger than me. So when we come back and it was May, so everything was like May the 4th be with you. And that's also when we read Rise of the Resistance. But they redid it and did Hyperspace Mountain and all the sound effects and stuff, like when you're going up into like the space zone. They do the hyperspeed, and then Luke over the intercom goes, "I'm going in," and then you like swerve everywhere. So I thought that was really cool. And the first time I read it, I was 7, I believe. So it was just hard for me.
Yeah.
especially when everything is so dark. But the Star Wars just really made it different. So
Yeah.
the hyperspace mountain, I would say, is better.
Yes, it's way better. So that's one of those things that's different at Disneyland and Disney World. Disney World at Magic Kingdom's Space Mountain never does a hyper one, which I wish they would, and does add that Star Wars element to that ride, which is cool. I've been on Space Mountain more times than I can think of, and all the different experience you get. I've rode that ride with the lights were on before, um, and there's totally different ways to do it. And the one at Disneyland and Disney World are two very different rides, so it's not like you're going on the same ride if you go at the two different parks. All right, so last and not least, what's number one on the list?
Number one. So my dad grew up watching Rudolph and all that. And his favorite character was the abominable snow monster.
Yeah.
So when he went to Disneyland and Matterhorn was available, he loved it. So when he took us, I'm pretty sure that was the third ride that we rid. Henry and I loved it. It was we chose the one where there are two separate tracks on the ride. One of them you see the Yeti once on the ride, and then the other one you see it twice. So and the Yeti is really realistic, and he like shakes around. Yeah. And at the beginning, if you don't include the beginning, you do see him twice on one and once on the other. But if you do, you see it twice on one and three times on the other. But I like the Abominable Snow Monster too. And for Christmas, my grandma got me a 12-foot Abominable Snow Monster inflatable. I go all out for Christmas too. I'm a huge holiday guy. And of course, he gave it to us at Christmas, so we didn't really have time to like put it outside.
Yeah.
So that's going up this year.
100%. Awesome. Yeah, their family decorates really, really big for Halloween and Christmas. So it's always fun to go by their house. Actually, when we take our kids to school, because we're in the same school district, but they go to different schools. They always ask if they can go by their house especially during Halloween season, to see some of their decorations. So they do go all out. Now, to talk a little bit about Matterhorn is, it's just for me. I think it's so cool because it's it's like a park icon there at Disneyland, where it's something that obviously you see it's the biggest thing in the park pretty much. So, but given that he's younger, it kind of jerks around a little bit more than any of the other rides, right? Yes. So it's really, really entertaining. The ride's really good. But given he's younger, his body can take it. I know when I go on, I kind of get jerked around, so it's a little bit different. But it's a great, great ride it's a must do if you're going to go to Disneyland, because it's like a classic ride there.
Thank you for watching. I've never done something like this, so this was really special for me. But make sure to subscribe to him and me. You can go over to my page.
Turbo DP.
Mm-hmm. I post quite frequently. I love shorts, having fun. It's all about fun on my channel, so.
Yes, he does like a lot of reviews to a lot of like different products, like whether it be drinks or snacks or foods. A lot of times it's just him or a couple of his buddies or one of his buddies, and they'll kind of do it together. He really likes dinosaurs, so he'll do some shorts on dinosaurs. So if you're into stuff like that, be sure to check out his channel.